blood in the water. Someone must have washed their hands here recently. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes? Perhaps I should take this. For all I hope it won't be needed. Did a child make these?
Ah, Dr. Watson. Just the man I wanted to see.
Professor, I'm surprised you're not trying to catch that escapee.
Please, my time is far too valuable. I hope Nurse Kuntz has been taking good care of you.
He has certainly kept me out of trouble.
Professor, it is time for your appointment with your next patient, Mr. Wolf.
Herr Wolf can wait until tomorrow. I wish to speak with Dr. Watson.
As you wish.
You still see patients yourself, even as the director of this entire facility?
Only the important ones. And yet I rarely get to pick the brain of a man like yourself. I think it is time we got to know each other, no?
I'm afraid there's not much to know. I'm just an average chap living a rather prosaic life these days.
Dr. Watson, those of us who pursue knowledge are anything but average. Now, who are you?
I'm a physician in search of a stimulating career. I have patients, yes, but admittedly, I'm more interested in the cutting edge of medical research. So when I read about the Black Edelweiss and your work on the healing of minds, I simply had to learn more.
I suppose my Edelweiss was always destined to attract other curious minds. But before we continue, I want you to understand one thing. A broken mind can never be truly healed.
Ah, I see. So, what exactly do you do here?
It is simple. If you cannot fix a person's nature, you must force them to forget it.
Surely there are other methods of treatment.
How naive. You remind me of a man I once knew, Professor Becker. But we do not speak of him anymore.
A colleague?
The former director here. One day he realized that Edelweiss had outgrown him and had to leave his house. Do you know really of me already, Doctor?
I was simply admiring your office, Professor. Apologies.
While I am pleased you appreciate its practicality and appearance, we were discussing bigger things. Was my conversation boring you?
No, not at all. I merely...
No, I understand full well. You're not seeking conversation.
What do you mean?
It is obvious. Your mind craves truth, but not in this form. You must witness a practical demonstration if you are to learn.
I'm certainly intrigued. Would that be possible?
Of course. I propose a journey between the jury of the human brain. You will not leave without being truly enlightened. Kuntz, take Dr. Watson back to the courtyard. Then tell the nurses to prepare the operation room and the girl with the doll.
Yes, Professor.
Our preparations will take a little time. I will come for you soon, Doctor.
Looks dusty but functional.
Oh, we never use that. I think it connects somewhere downstairs.
A commemorative photo album. Been a while since I've been in one of these. The photograph seems recent. Good Lord, that's a lot of records.
A visitor? No, you shouldn't have come here.
Give it to me. No, I don't want to. Why not?
Did you see my son? He's such a sweet boy.
I want them to fly!
Miss?
I hear them scratching. Don't you hear it?
I don't want to guard Block B tonight.
Minor birds, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful creatures. How sad that they're caged here. You are Mr. Wolf, am I right?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
My name is Dr. John Watson. I wanted to talk with you, if you didn't mind.
Ah, doctor. I don't suppose you could help. I seem to have forgotten where I am.
We're in the Black Edelweiss, Mr. Wolf. It's an asylum in Switzerland, and you are one of its most important patients.
But why am I here?
That's what I was about to ask you.
I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember anything.
It's all right, you don't need to push. Try to relax. Let the thoughts come and go. Now, what comes to mind? Mr. Wolf?
Oh, hello. Who might you be?
We just went over this.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we've met.
We were just discussing this facility, the Black Edelweiss Asylum, and why you are here.
That name does sound familiar.
Holmes, the things I do for you.
Excuse me, who are you? And who's this Holmes fellow?
I am Dr. Watson, and Holmes is, well, you could call him my imaginary friend. That's just a little joke, don't mind me.
But why am I here, doctor? Am I sick?
I'm sure I can take a look. Gygax do to you?
Excuse me? Who are you?
Oh, never mind. Hello again. You won't remember me, but we've met before. I am Dr. John Watson, and you are Professor Becker. You were the previous director of this facility, the Black Edelweiss.
Professor, really? Actually, that name does sound familiar. Wait. Let me write it down. I try to recall memories through writing, but they always feel just out of reach.
As a matter of fact, I have more for you to jot down.
Oh, yes. Yes, please, anything.
Professor Gygax did this to you. She made you forget everything, even who you are. But we will play a trick on her. We will write a letter so that she learns her lesson. Put down what I dictate. Dear Professor Gygax, your vile work has ruined countless lives through needless suffering. Your methods serve nothing but to show your own sick emotional state. You are not, as you so claimed, the future of the Edelweiss, and you never were. And by the time you make it to my cell, the police will already know the truth of how you came to be director of this asylum. Signed, Professor Becker.
There. It's done. Now, hold on a minute. Who are you?
My name is John Watson. I'm a doctor from London, a veteran of Afghanistan, and I wish to be a writer, though deep down I fear I lack the talent. And presently I'm risking my life to help my brilliant detective flatmate in the pursuit of a cult of kidnappers, even as I fear it may destroy him. I'm tired and hungry, and I have not had a good bath in weeks, and yet despite it all, I feel alive. Any more questions?
Good heavens, sir. You're as mad as they come. Excuse me, who are you?
I don't know why I keep doing this, expecting something different. One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor Gygax.
Thank you, Doctor. Leave it with me.
Unbelievable. Kunz, with me.
Nothing special about this. Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too small to be what Holmes asked for. An Edelweiss relief about 2 inches in diameter. This must be what Holmes was after.
Tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating. Only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it. The writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps.
Oh, the spell.
Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Dear God, is that body parts? Utterly inhuman. Looks as if it's been recently used. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full-grain leather straps. Impossible to escape. A very professional brain dissection.
Get out of my head!
Your mind festers, devoid of soul. Find reverence for the one that trembled.
Great Lord!
Left your surrender your soul and become a servant of madness.
Please! No more! Stop it! Watson! John! Somebody!
Wretched mortal, do not fear what is to come. Let him rupture our world anew. Awaken! And let the...
Awaken! And...
The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Ugh. Get out of my head. Hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. Watson?
Holmes?
What are you still doing here?
Still? I was trying to find more information. Did you think I was just going to sit in my room twiddling my thumbs?
I only asked you to find the key. I had everything else under control.
Says the man who looks like he saw a ghost.
I'm fine, Watson.
You're hardly fine. You reek of congealed blood and chemicals. What did you see down there?
Never mind me. Where's Gygax?
I'm afraid she's over there. I found her like that when I entered, on my word.
What? She was our biggest lead.
Yet another wrinkle in our investigation. What do we do now, Holmes?
Hush. Let me think. Heidi, how did it end up here? The patients here wear the same robes. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death.
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next. We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't suppose you've ever been to New Orleans?
You are joking.
I seldom do. Let's go. There's no time to waste. There's nothing in this world that cannot be explained with logic and reason. Nothing in this world.
Holmes?
Hmm?
You seem troubled.
I'm not troubled, Watson. I am preoccupied.
That place was awful. Inhumane. It would be natural to experience some feelings of shock or fear.
Men reduced to gibbering imbeciles, numbed beyond recognition, powerless to help themselves. When a doctor does go wrong, they are the first of criminals. They have the nerve and they have the knowledge.
That woman did not deserve the title. Such casual cruelty for such selfish aims.
I knew another man like that once. He treated my mother, perhaps even killed her, depending on who you ask.
My sincere condolences.
In the end, she was just a shadow of herself. The outline of the person I recognized, but lacking all else. She was pushed until she cracked. Should you see me cracking, John, I must ask you to intervene.
Nothing compels us to pursue this matter further, Sherlock. We can return to London, report what we have discovered. Let more capable hands take over.
Alas, there are no such hands. Were we to abandon our quest now, I fear no other would succeed in our stead.
We know nothing of what awaits, what dangers lurk in the darkness.
Nonsense. We draw nearer to New Orleans with every passing minute, and thus closer to the answers we seek. Those answers, for all their perversity and improbability, will, nevertheless, be the work of men. And that is a work I have studied well.
So be it.
I know you to be a diligent author, but if I may make one request. Kindly omit my mother and her suffering from your tale.
Of course.
Thank you, John.
Ah, Holmes. After our trip to nippy Switzerland, I can certainly use some of this New World heat.
Do not get carried away, Watson. What we could certainly use are answers to my questions.
I know, but you look exhausted. Why don't we find the hotel first?
We shall rest when our investigation is over, and not a moment sooner. I shall ask you to handle our bags while I search for the bank.
As you wish. Oi! Stop it, you! Our luggage! Good Lord, what have you done? That's my stuff.
I'm sorry, mister. It was an accident.
Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray. Our ship leaves tomorrow morning. No room for sightseeing then. more people missing here, too. Are you able to help me?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
May I ask for your assistance?
It isn't possible for me to help you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction's about to start.
In the flesh. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, hold up. Written invitation first.
Can I present another piece of identification?
Nope. That's why we send the invitation.
Holmes,
Closed auction,
over
gems
here.
sold. By invitation only.
Any luck?
None. They're holding an auction, invitation only. The good news is, I know who might have one. We need to find Mr. Barnaby.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most likely a local.
And you think Mr. Barnaby will be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed, those lanterns are delightful. It is as though we have been transported to the Orient itself. Can I ask you a question?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
Locked. No one's here. Do you know anything about this?
Doesn't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
Do you know anything about this?
Don't remind me of anything. Someone else might help you better, sir.
Rather unassuming for a jewelry store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still owes you. If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Help me, please.
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
Excuse me, just one question.
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place. There's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice way. Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic.
Eureka!
What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank, not as yourself, but as Frank Barnaby.
Holmes, we look nothing alike.
The hat and coat will do the heavy lifting. Just stay cool, play the part, and no one will notice the difference. Trust me.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are. Shop owner.
Right. Your invitation, sir?
Here you go.
You okay, sir? Seem to have the jumps.
I'm in a rush.
Come on in.
Heavens, I've never seen gems so big.
I simply must have them.
This might be useful. I'll make a note. Are you able to help me?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
May I ask you something?
I don't want to disappoint you, but I'm clueless.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House. The auction will begin shortly. Name's Zoe Clemens, and I'd be delighted to help you.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Clemens. I am Frank Barnaby. I do have some questions, if you don't mind. Forgive my curiosity, but Who was the previous owner?
Sir, I ain't at liberty to disclose them details.
These gems are rather curious. What can you tell me about them?
These rare beauties are black opals, all the way from Coober Pedy, South Australia. When they catch the light, the dark stone becomes a brilliant rainbow. It's something special.
It doesn't say where these stones came from. No provenance, no previous owner. I'm starting to suspect they were illegally procured.
What? We would never. I can assure you these gems were bought from one of New Orleans' most upstanding citizens, a philanthropist no less. If you would like to know more, I could get my manager.
You old dog, Barnaby. Didn't think you'd sober up for the auction. An hour ago, you were 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, you know, I hold my liquor better than most. And the auction was an important business opportunity.
An important business opportunity? Ha! What have you done with the real Barnaby?
Well, maybe I'm drunker than I thought, mister.
Mister? What's wrong, Frank? You're looking pale. Don't you recognize your old pal, Grub?
Of course I know you, Sheriff.
Good. Now, while I have you, there's the matter of your outstanding fines. I've been more than reasonable, but I'm afraid the bills come due.
Fines? Right, I'm afraid I don't have anything on me.
That's funny. Ain't you at the auction? I weren't born yesterday, Frank. Now, assault, battery, disorderly conduct, that's serious stuff. You got off easy, but if you don't pay up, things get a whole lot worse.
Look, Sheriff, I'm not actually...
Whoa. Think careful now, 'cause Frank Barnaby only owes us cash. But fraud, impersonation, that's weasel behavior. And you know what we do to weasels round these parts. Feed 'em to the gators. So, Frank, what's it gonna be?
Here's all I have.
Mighty fine of you. The people of this parish deserve peace. They don't take kindly to visitors. Don't miss that boat tomorrow morning, Doctor.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. Now we're penniless and wanted criminals.
Hysteria gets us nowhere, Watson. Tell me what happened.
The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extorted me for every coin I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed. A pox on the crew. Oh, bollocks, now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something real hairy to have him chuck your luggage off the pier.
With respect, miss, have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already made an enemy in Sheriff Grubb. The man starves his gators just in case someone crosses him. John who?
Watson.
Well, Johnny, if you plan on sticking around, you better change that suit, or Frank's reputation will catch up with you. And then you'll be a John Doe.
Alas, I think one of those gators is currently devouring my spare clothes.
You've got yourself in a fine pickle. All right, come on board the Nymph of Louisiana, and I'll sort you something to wear.
The nymph? Is that what it sounds like? Why are you helping me?
Well, let's just say you ain't the only one who's had run-ins with the sheriff. Way I see it, this city deserves better. Now quit your stalling and head on over to the Nymph. I'll be in room 6.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the Nymph.
Always a pleasure to see you regular, Mr. Barnaby. Welcome home.
Well, look at you. All dressed up with nowhere to go.
I can't thank you enough. As I was saying, our journey has hardly gone to plan. We seem no closer to finding our missing people than when we left.
Well, if there were anything to know, Champagne'll know it. She's across everything in New Orleans. Look for her in the fisherman's village behind the Creole Quarter.
Thank you again, Lucy. I shall make my way there now.
Good luck, Johnny. Keep out of trouble.
Oh, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through?
Do you know anything about this?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
I'm gonna die. Gonna die.
Are you all right, sir?
It'll come again. I will die.
What happened?
The lower of death came to me last night. I know it will come again.
Let's start from the beginning. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Could you describe last night's events for me?
I'm Cole Seabrook. It was Maman Brigitte. She came to me in the shape of a giant black rooster. Before that, some hit the wall outside. Then she came in. She took my will and she led me to the water.
Perhaps you were dreaming?
I wish I was. The Great Gator was there. It called me and I couldn't resist, but then the spell broke and I managed to crawl ashore.
Interesting.
I know how it sounds to an outsider, but it was the lower of death and it ain't finished with me.
You mentioned a lower. What is that exactly?
You outsiders only know one God. But there are many and we call them lowers. And Maman Brigitte is one of them. She is the lower of death and life. She heals the righteous and punishes the guilty.
Did you feel anything apart from fear last night?
Yeah. The signs of Maman's presence, no doubt about it. Everything became blurry and my mouth was dry and the light became very bright.
That is something. He dropped a cup here. This one is almost odorless. Interesting. It smells sweet. I will take it just in case.
I would love to learn more about these. The healing properties of some herbs are truly amazing, Holmes.
And some are extremely dangerous. Cold ground herbs here.
Tocqueville? Lafayette! Hush now. No offense, Cher. Them two don't take kindly to gents. Especially foreigners. How can champagne help you? Trip to the bayou? Feeding a huge crocodile?
Some other time, perhaps. Word has it, you know everything that goes on round these parts.
Maybe. Maybe not. What you want to know?
The bank in town recently purchased a valuable collection of gemstones from a wealthy man. What do you know of it?
Sure. I hear everything. This time I tell you for free. Next time, you pay.
Thank you.
May have been 1, 2 weeks ago. Rich man's butler sold him some black opals.
And this rich man is?
Don't know his name, only that he from the French Quarter. Folk back in town could take you there. That's all I know. You need a boat? I hire him out for dollars. Or a bottle of you-know-what.
Thank you for the offer and the help. Is this familiar to you?
Oh, I've had talk. Got a spot in mind.
French Quarter, and get us there fast.
Got a spot in mind.
Actually, I'm not sure yet. You know, Watson, the opulent... Is this familiar
does
to
sound
you?
rather magical.
I'm
Do you think you shall
bone-tied,
ever return?
but yeah,
I
help
don't
you.
know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments.
Yeah,
Lord, help me.
Excuse me, miss. Are you all right? What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Waiting for someone, Eula?
Yes, sir. My brother Davy. He works for Mr. Arneson in that mansion yonder. Been 5 days now since I last heard from him.
Come now, why all the tears?
Something happened to Davy. I feel it in my bones.
Do you think he may have left the premises?
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's smart in some ways, but he can't talk. Not a word. He's pure and kind.
Fear not. We will look for your brother. One presumes this gate is locked. Is there any other way inside?
There's another entrance through the stables you could try. That's where I meet Davy normally, but I couldn't get in. See, I couldn't find the key. It wasn't in its usual spot. Please hurry, sir. Find him for me.